This is John from Chicago. Thanks for coming in and or watching my videos here. I'm going to do some reviews of two 130 class quadcopters. The 130 class quadcopter is a fun new class a lot of people are starting to get into. It allows you to fly close to home, say backyards, sidewalks, small parks, a lot better than some of the larger, faster like 250s and 210s that are out there. So it allows you to fly more often, so people are looking at getting into this. What made this possible over the last 6 months are the smaller radio transmitters and other smaller parts that are going into these quadcopters. What I have is I have the lighter one, which is the Terra 130. And then I have a little bit heavier of one with bigger motors is the RCX 130. The main difference, like I said, are weight and power. The Terra has 1104 motors that put out 110 grams of lift each at 11.1 volts. And the RCX, it has 1407 motors that put out 323 grams of lift per motor. So the power to weight ratio turns out to be 3.2 for the Terra and 4.9 for the RCX. The RCX can run 4S batteries, and with that it would have a power to weight ratio of 5.7. So it has a lot more zip, but the lightness of the Terra I think makes it a fun quad to fly. So they both have their advantages. Let me show you some flight video and see what you think. I am starting the flight video with the RCX 130. It has plenty of punch. Here's a punch test. Not quite the punch as my 210 with an 8:1 power ratio, but still plenty of punch to make it exciting. The quad also has a good spin rate. It's maneuverable. It could get into tight places. Here's the course for the FPV, just backyard flying. Go around the course a couple times to see where the trees are and the swing set. And then we'll start the show the camera from the FPV runner. This is an 808 16 recording camera. But as you can see, the quad moves along pretty good. Rates are set up pretty high, so it's a little jerky, but it's a fun quad to fly, highly maneuverable, and it can get into some fairly tight places. As I said, the advantage is the power, more power than Terra 130. Both take a beating. The propellers on the RCX are your standard 5mm hole propellers. Gives you quite a variety, and they're quite tough in the smaller 130 size. It's almost impossible to break. With the Terra, you can break a propeller, but with the RCX, I've had problems with the antenna sticking up. It's easier to break. The height of with the antenna is 120 millimeter, where on the Terra, the height of the quad is only 37. It fits. I have a more detailed description and the links below for each quad. You can look at the YouTube videos for those also. Cost for each quad is about the same. Here is the flight video for the Terra 130. As I said before, it's about half the weight as the RCX 130, 95 grams versus 186 grams without the battery. Because of this lighter weight, it has about twice as long as a flight time on the same size battery. It's also safer and causes less complaints from people that are around when you're flying. It's a lot less intrusive. The punch test here, it shows it still has plenty of punch, but about half the speed as the RCX 130, but still about twice the punch as a brush quad. Here's the FPV portion of the flight. We're flying around the trees again. Terra 130 is highly maneuverable and is fun to fly also. Here's a sample of the motor noise going around the FPV course where I hit the swing set. Both these smaller quads could get in small places and are both fun to fly. The only disadvantage of the lighter weight that I could see is it doesn't have the momentum sometimes to get you through some light tree branches like coming up here in a couple seconds. It took down the quad where the 130 hit that same little branch and it made it through. You could also fly my Terra 130 inside. I don't recommend it, but I put a 2S battery on, and it was 0 degrees out with 8 inches of snow here in Chicago, so I thought I'd do a little bit of closing video flying around the house. My recommendations are to buy both. You can never have too many quadcopters. But if I had to buy just one, I would probably get the Terra, just because that's the one I pick up and go out and fly most of the time when I have 10 minutes. My son-in-law, he prefers the RCX 130 because he likes the speed and racing. So you can't go wrong with either one. Hope you enjoy the video. Come back and watch my others, and if you have questions, please leave that in the comments down below. Thank you.